Why are you excited to be here tonight?
Because I'm just excited.
Yeah. No other explanation. Now, I do believe, tell me the truth. Is it true that your dad has a ringside seat but didn't get you guys ringside seats?
That is true, but it's because of his YouTube channel, okay? It's his YouTube, okay?
Her dad's an influencer. Let him go, guys. But your dad's awesome, right?
Yeah.
See, he's awesome!
Mi gente, you already know who it is. It's the radioactive Papa Danny Limelight, United Wrestling Network World Heavyweight Champion. And make sure you tune into the Alliance blog every week. You heard it here first. Straight from Papa.
Hey guys, check this out. I am officially now sponsored by Dubby. Dubby is a clean energy drink made to give you focus with no crash. If you guys are like me, you're always needing a burst of energy, especially with one with no crash. Dubby contains vitamins, amino acids, a nootropic, and 150 milligrams of caffeine. It keeps me awake with no jitters, guys. Check it out. Merch link is in the bio. Dubby. What is up, everybody? Welcome to the pre-party with J-Cal. I'm J-Cal. Thanks for joining us here on a Tuesday as we get you set up, we get you ready for the NWA POWERRR exclusively on the CW app, don't you know? Again, my name is J-Cal, and each and every Tuesday we come here direct to you, the NWA fam. Hashtag it, if you will. And we talk all things NWA and wrestling. And I'm also simultaneously streaming on TikTok. A lot of people think I look like Kevin Owens. Anyways, I'm not wearing the Alliance gear today because I've been in and out of the office and I hadn't had an opportunity to put the gear on. But we've got t-shirts, we got ball caps, we got all kinds of fun stuff. Check it out. The merch section is in the merch link is in the video section description. So check it out. Already I see a couple of my pals in the chat. We got Willie Bowen in the house. Championship Wrestling from Jeremy. What is up, brother? Long time no see. Noob is in the house. And I'm sure more and more will join us momentarily. Let's see. Willie Bowen says, hi, J-Cal. Tyrus has got a new job. He is the before man on the Charles Atlas picture. Even I think, Willie, I think even Tyrus's before picture is, I'm going to sneeze. Hold on. Oh, man. Allergy season. It's spring in SoCal. I don't know where it is, what the temperature is where you guys are at, but it's looking beautiful out. Temperatures in the 80s. I'm still getting the Kevin Owens bit. Someone even said, you're not Kevin Owens. You look like Kevin Steen. That made me laugh. What's up, Steve? Steve G's in the house. So what is going on, guys? Tonight, if you haven't watched the CW app, obviously you probably should. There is wrestling on there. Are you guys watching Carneyland or the Billy Corgan show, whatever they're calling it? I haven't sat down and watched one episode of it. And I guess that's to my own detriment, right? Because maybe I should be. Like, there's obviously a connection to the NWA, but I just haven't felt really all that inspired, you know, about watching the Carneyland. Like, you know, I'm not the biggest Billy Corgan fan. You guys know that. As much as Billy Corgan has, you know, let's be completely honest, right? Billy Corgan saved the NWA. And as much as I don't like his booking or his personality or much anything about Billy Corgan. You have to give him credit. He essentially saved the NWA, because at the time that he made the purchase, things for the National Wrestling Alliance were looking pretty bleak. If we can get back in the Wayback Machine, we're talking about 2017, in the spring of 2017, when the announcement was made. But at that time, Bruce Tharpe had exhausted a lot of the NWA resources, allowing himself, along with NWA talents like Rob Conway, Jax Dane, Chase Owens, I'm blanking on some of the other names, Big Daddy Yum Yum, Wes Briscoe. There was basically an NWA contingent in New Japan for about a year or two. And that was all tied in with the NWA World's Heavyweight Championship appearing on Wrestle Kingdom, the Satoshi Kojima run with the 10 pounds of gold, obviously Chase Owens becoming a member of Bullet Club. Now that was all Chase Owens. I don't give Bruce the credit for getting Chase Owens into the Bullet Club, but I will give Bruce the credit to acknowledge that without his direct involvement, I don't think Chase Owens would have ended up in Japan. But you also have to take a look at that time was very exhausting for the NWA, because you had your World's Heavyweight Champion directly cued into New Japan Pro Wrestling, as well as the NWA World Tag Team titles, which were also becoming a fixture in Japan. I believe the Killer Elite Squad of Harry Smith and Lance Archer, then Lance Hoyt, being the NWA World Tag Team Champions for a brief time. They took the titles off of Conway and Jax Dane, and I believe Kojima and Tenzin. Kojima and Tenzin were your NWA World Tag Team Champions. And during this time, yeah, Raiden, yeah, that's the guy. Billy Corgan, Smashing Pumpkins, 1979. Cool Kids Never Got Left Behind. Yeah, that's the guy, Billy Corgan. Yeah, I mean, he saved the NWA. And, he's never been anything but polite to me. I have met him. He's never been like a jerk or anything else like that to me. It is his company. He spent the money. It's his wrestling promotion. He is allowed to do or not do whatever he wants. He's allowed to book or not book whoever he wants. And, we all are just kind of here to witness and observe what his vision is. That doesn't mean we have to necessarily agree with it. That doesn't mean we have to like it. It just means that is where it's at. And unfortunately, if you are a diehard NWA fan like me, it's problematic, because on the one hand, you're like, well, thank you, Billy Corgan, for saving the NWA. But on the other hand, you're like, man, I wish things were a little bit better. I wish things weren't so convoluted and stupid at points. So I guess what I'm saying is thanks, Billy. Fight Owens, fight. I still get it. It's awesome. You guys in the TikTok chat, they are saying that I look a lot like Kevin Owens, which is not new to me. That's not wasted on me, and I'm not bothered by it. But yeah, as I stall here at trying to pull up a photo of Billy Corgan, let me see if I can pull that up here. Yeah, that Billy Corgan. And I will get to comments too. Oh, hey, Joseph, thanks for the rose on TikTok. I appreciate that. You look like Kevin Owens. Oh, man, Joseph, thank you, sir. Appreciate that. Let's see. Then he killed Kurt. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, there I am with Mr. William Patrick Corgan at the Hard Rock Atlanta. And that was ahead of the NWA Power tapings that started off in 2019 in October, technically September. I do want to say what's up to those who joined the chat. We've got Showgain also known as the Great Hisa. See, and Dave Scooby is a true, like, what's the word I'm looking for? The opposite of a bullshitter. He's a straight shooter. That's the word I'm looking for. He is a straight shooter because you will never hear Dave Scooby say something that's wrong. And he said this: the NWA never recovered after COVID hit. It was good at the start when Lagana also had a say in how things were done. Things changed radically after Lagana was gone. And Raiden says, I think he killed Kurt. Jesus, man. Steve, the only hat I have for sale, it should be in the merch, is this one. But I hear you, and I am planning on getting some more designs on the shirt, especially the new logo that I don't know. You guys tell me, and be completely honest. If you think it sucks, say it sucks, but I really dig that logo. What do you guys think? You know, folks in TikTok, you don't get to see it. It's on the YouTube channel. You guys are cracking me up. All the Kevin Owens comments. If you think I'm Kevin Owens, send me one rose. Let's see. Raiden said he did some work for NWA Houston, but I was security and a student at the time, about 2011, 2012. Okay, so Raiden, you were working for Chris Ronquillo, or Tony Brooklyn, as he was called. And again, that was at a time when the NWA was near the end. I mean, it had exhausted its resources. When Bruce Tharpe took over the NWA, there were 3 partners. By the time he left the NWA, he was the lone individual. Now, what Bruce Tharpe did, which was smart, which helped him grow the brand temporarily, was 2 things. One, he got the 10 pounds of gold in Japan. And I know, like, Japan isn't some sort of magic fix-all. It doesn't make everything great. But having the 10 pounds of gold being defended on Wrestle Kingdom and those shows being replayed later on Access TV certainly brought some eyeballs back to the brand. Some eyeballs that had left when the NWA, kind of fell off the map a little bit between, obviously when Impact and the NWA split ways. But even more so when the arena shows stopped, when Dave Marquez quit running the big arena shows and focused more on television. Tony Brooklyn, Chaz, and Tugboat Taylor were my trainers. Yeah. So you did work with those guys. And, by the end, what the partners were able to do, they were able to bring all of these affiliates and members into licensees. Basically, when Bruce Tharpe took over the NWA, he took total possession of the National Wrestling Alliance. They eliminated the partners. They eliminated the board of directors. They eliminated the members. And up until that point, the NWA had always been multiple wrestling promotions, not just one. Now, we're seeing a change in that philosophy today. We're seeing the return of the territories, but make no mistake about it. These territories are essentially just propped up by the NWA. And there's nothing wrong with that. Don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with having these territories. In fact, it's beneficial because I feel like you're going to get more NWA created content. You're going to have more opportunity to see the stars of the NWA. Remember, as it's built right now, NWA Power films basically once a month, maybe twice a month. So that means in an entire calendar year, there's going to be about, I would say an estimate of about 18 NWA events that are filmed for Power. On top of that, then you have promotions like Joe Kazana, Exodus Pro, FTW, and NWA Chicago to kind of facilitate more NWA content. So I'm very excited about where the NWA is, and all this to say, you don't have to love Billy Corgan, but you have to respect what he's doing for the NWA, because without him, the NWA could be dead. It's a Kevin Owens lookalike. So Adam Baum, the NWA is now owned by William Patrick Corgan, also known as Billy Corgan, the guy who sings the Smashing Pumpkins songs, Tonight, 1979, Mayonnaise, whichever your favorite Smashing Pumpkins song is. He is also the owner of the NWA. Hey, Roz. Yeah, thank you for explaining the Tharp era in brief. I liked his program format, but never knew the backstory. Yeah, I mean, if you don't remember your past, you're destined to repeat it, right? But also, like, that's where this show is different than any other NWA live stream, podcast, whatever. I was around those times. I knew the NWA before it was just a TV show. So yeah, it's exciting times. And Bobby Petito brings up a great point. It's great to see that EC3 is going to wrestle in All Japan Pro Wrestling. In fact, I think that match is happening today. No, it's happening tomorrow. Happens tomorrow, which is basically today. You look like Kevin Owens. Yeah, I get that a lot, guys, on TikTok. Appreciate it. Thanks for all the likes on the video. So let's see. More hat colors. I didn't see hats on your merch site. Steve G, I'm going to make a point to get at least 2 more hats up there by the end of the week. If I don't have 2 more hats up there on Thursday, call me out on the live stream. Because I should have hats up there. I'm a hat guy. I have lots of hats. You guys can't see it, but my door is covered in hats. I love hats. Let's see. Okay, so today is Tuesday, which means we are having a new episode of Power. Some of you might have already watched it. Power appears every Tuesday on the CW app. You can check that out every Tuesday. I think it pops up like 7 a.m. local time. You know, if you're on the East Coast, West Coast, wherever, pops up around 7 a.m. And this week's episode is featuring the first NWA TV title defense since January. Now, I don't know when that match specifically aired, but we know Max the Impaler, the non-binary nightmare. If you've never watched the NWA before, this is something that's kind of interesting, something to note, that Max the Impaler is currently the NWA Women's Television Champion. Max does not identify as a woman. Max does not identify as a man. Max is non-binary. What that, I guess, essentially means is that if Max doesn't subscribe to any one specific gender, then that means Max can compete in either gender. That happened again earlier this year at the Paranoia TV tapings. Max defeated Mims while being the women's television champion and also became the men's television champion. The first non-binary champion to be recognized by the NWA, and the first wrestler in the NWA to hold 2 different gender titles. Now, the reason why this is prevalent is because, or relevant, I should say, not prevalent, is that the titles got bottlenecked. As Max became champion, all those divisions, those 2 championship belts had some significance prior to Max winning them. And I'm not trying to put Max down, but Max has not defended the titles in a very long time. We haven't seen Max defend the women's championship since essentially since the end of 23. Now, while Max was the women's champion, Max took the title to Finland. Max took the title to Japan. These are all huge deals. Amazing. Any women's wrestler holding that TV title, if they were able to take it to Finland or to Japan, or like previous champion Kenzie Page taking the belt to Australia, these are all benchmarks. These are all hallmarks. These are all things to be celebrated. But since then, Max has focused on becoming the men's television champion, and now both of those titles had been bottlenecked since January, meaning nobody's challenged for either title. And we've had several television tapings without any title matches for the TV title. That changes on this episode of Power. A few weeks back, Jake Dumas, the magician, the magic bastard. What's his nickname? Jake Dumas. What's his? Oh, I'm gonna have to pull it up now because I can't remember it. Magic Jake. I think they call him the Mad Bastard of Magic or something like that. Of course, he doesn't come up on Cage Match, but let's see if I can find him anyways. There he is, Jake Dumas. Matches. So yeah, Jake Dumas won a. Oh, they don't even list it as a TV title number 1 contenders match. Anyways, Jake Dumas as I'm trying to just look it up here now. The Magic Bastard. There it is. The Magic Bastard. He won a match to be declared the number one contender for the television title. He gets his opportunity tonight against Max. Spoiler alert, I was at the Crockett Cup, and Max still was in possession of both the women's television title and the men's television title. So it doesn't appear that Jake Dumas gets a victory on this evening. But the good thing is that Max was able to defend the title. Now the question is, there is a roster, an ever-growing roster of women talent in the NWA that have not had an opportunity to challenge for the TV title. My question to our viewing audience is, when do you think Max is going to defend the women's television title on the NWA again? Because, again, we haven't seen Max defend that title since, well, I guess against Mims, when it was a title for title match at Paranoia. And I think it's a shame, because there's a lot of great individuals, a lot of great talent in the NWA. You have Natalia Markova, who identifies as a female wrestler, but has had intergender matches, has wrestled against some of the men. In fact, had a great showing at the Crockett Cup. But then there's also talent like Misa Kate, who honestly, maybe we won't see Misa Kate back in the NWA for a while. She wasn't at the Crockett Cup. There is Kylie Page, the sister, Ella Envy, La Rosa Negra, Tiffany Nieves. I mean, there is an ever-growing list of talents who have not had an opportunity to challenge for the TV title, and I would be interested to see what they're going to do with that. But yeah, so anyways, I do want to celebrate that we are getting a Max title defense tonight, and I had a graphic ready and I didn't even put it up, but their Maxes with both the TV titles. And again, if you guys are only watching on TikTok, you're missing half the show, because we have all the cool graphics and stuff on the YouTube channel, and there is an interactive chat there as well. And thank you guys for the Kevin Owen comments. If I got $1 for every time someone said I look like Kevin Owens, I could fly to Philly for free. All right, so I'm going to read some of the comments here on our YouTube channel. Again, you can get in where you fit. Roswell's in the house. I already mentioned Roswell. Paladin, I'm not going to read your gender reaffirming roles. I'm not going to read that, but I'm glad to see you here, Paladin. You're my pal, Aden. Noob's got it right. The Magic Bastard. Yeah, this has been the haircut I've been rocking for a while, but when I'm wearing the cap, you guys don't see it, right? You don't see the hair. But yeah, I've been trying to keep it a little bit shorter, especially in the hotter months. You love Nick Wayne's mom. All right. The Magic Man. Is Mims still trying to beat women for the belts? I should read these before I post them up. No, Mims has kind of moved on away from the TV title. And again, this is the first interaction we've seen anybody making an overture for either TV title. So I celebrate Jake Dumas, the Magic Bastard, for having the stones to take on Max. And if you guys are unaware who Max is, I mean, look up Max the Impaler. A very physically imposing figure, man or woman, and of course non-binary. Took 2.5 months to watch the Crockett Cup. I lose interest. Pal, I feel you on that one, because I was there. I was at the Crockett Cup, and I'm watching matches now that were already spoiled for me because I attended the Crockett Cup. And I think that the really shameful part of it is there are ways around it, right? There are ways to get us ready and still have this content ready. And they filmed 2 television tapings in the month of April. And now that we're in May and we just had Crockett Cup, they're doing the next television taping, I believe, this weekend in Tennessee, the return to the Indies. And so we have essentially what will be about 2.5 months of content already in the can, waiting for distribution. But the problem is life happens between pro wrestling, right? And so all of those 2.5 months, like, so, you know, we're just a few days away from June. So we're talking the month of June set, the month of July set, the month of August basically set. And then that puts us right at the 76th anniversary show. And so by the time the anniversary show airs, we probably won't be until September. And it just pushes everything out. So it's kind of hard to be excited as a fan to watch this product when it's so far behind, you know? Steve G says Markova should be NWA World Women's Champion. Noob says the women's TV title is pretty much dead. To be honest, it would have been perfect opportunity for Markova, but like I said, for months, the NWA has dropped the ball on her, 100%. Jeremy says if Missa is done with the NWA, good for her. Big loss for the NWA. Yeah, it's look. I like Missa Kate a lot. I think she's extremely talented. Her partner Maddie is now with NXT. By golly, it's Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens has TikTok. I thought you was Kevin Owens. It doesn't stop, guys. I was gonna say Kevin Owens, but everyone already said it. Yeah, it's. If everyone who thinks I look like Kevin Owens wants to send me a gift on TikTok, that'd be great. It's a shame because I really feel like Missa Kate could help the roster, help the credibility and the talent level of the women's division. But if they don't let her go, if they're just going to keep putting her in meaningless matches, I understand her leaving. 2 people I know and have the privilege of sharing the ring with recently went to work a show for the NWA. Raiden, are those folks from Texas? Because there was a lot of talent in Texas last weekend. Frank Stone in Queens. Raiden, I'm not familiar with them. Willie says, don't leave out Reka Tahaka. Willie, how do I put this mildly? I'm glad you enjoy Reka Tahaka. I think Reka Tahaka has a lot more potential than she's realized. And I hope that she gets better each and every week. And I think that's the most political way I can say it. I hope the money is worth it for Billy. The thing is, if the rumors are true, if the speculation is true, they weren't doing big business with pay-per-view numbers. Like, they were losing a considerable amount of money. And if the case is that they're losing money, then I don't blame them for taking the route they took. I hate the fact that my friends to the north and to the east and to the south, I hate that it's only an American wrestling show. I hate the fact that the UK audience, the Canadian audience, who were a big part of that YouTube assembly when Power first debuted, are now no longer able to watch it. That sucks. That really does. And at the same time, I would rather Billy take a safe bet with the NWA to make guaranteed money than to keep losing money and decide that maybe it's time to just let it go. I don't think Billy will ever sell the NWA. I think if the NWA closes, it's either going to be because there was a lack of interest by the fans or that Billy passes away. I don't think he's going to sell the company to somebody. I don't think he's going to give it over to somebody else. I feel like this is a baby for him. He's got his Madame Susu's tea shop. He's got, of course, tons of music with Smashing Pumpkins and tours and concerts and albums and all that. And then he's got his wrestling project, his wrestling hobby, and I feel like that's where he's dedicating a lot of time, effort, and energy to. I don't see him just handing that over to somebody else. The figure you have in the back of Hulk is actually a friend of mine. Hulk. El Furioso? El Furioso was a Marvel exclusive in Mexico. They did a Lucha Marvel crossover. I'm missing United Wrestling Network too, but I guess, Steve, I don't know if you heard me talk about this last week. They are doing some repairs to Thunder Studios, some renovations, so they don't even have the opportunity to film there. But I have heard that they're supposed to start filming back in Irvine again. And then I also think July 6th, mark that on your calendar. Something big is supposed to be happening on July 6th. I can't get into details, but if you're a fan of the United Wrestling Network, I think you'll be appreciative of what's going to happen there. I thought they were going to show the pay-per-view on the CW for free, not break it up into pieces. Yeah, that has been such a frustrating part of all this, Paladin, is that if they would have put the pay-per-view up as an entire vessel, an entire piece of content that we could have watched at our own leisure, that would have been so great. Like, I get they're not getting the dollar amount for it, but to turn the pay-per-views, the premium, the pay-per-view content into the signature live event, which is just another word for saying a more expensive television taping, no one's benefiting from that. I mean, I guess the benefit is that they don't have to film more television, but you would think like that. Ideally, they would be filming more television because they're selling more tickets and getting more people in their studios to watch wrestling. I don't know. Steve, I've been watching later in the day, bro. Just been super busy. Okay. Yes, they are from El Paso, Texas. Nice. Paladin, were you talking about Rekka Tahaka or were you talking about Missa Kate? Rekka Tahaka is a true female Samoan. Yes, she is. She's yeah. Rekka Tahaka has limitless potential. I don't think she's tapped into it yet. NWA Mid-America Championship. When's that tournament kicking off? Any word yet? I think the Mid-America tournament I think that title is going to be crowned at the return of the territories. I think they want to get that title established, and that's going to be a touring title for the NWA territories. I think that title will be represented in Exodus Pro. It'll be represented in Joe Kazana Promotions, in Crossfire. I think that title is going to be a pretty significant deal. My best guess is that belt's going to be on someone who's also going to appear on TV, because I feel like you're going to want to have some synergy there. You're going to want that champion to be very much in the public eye, as well as on those dates, those independent dates, not independent dates, but territory dates. So I think that's all going to happen when they get to this week, June 1st, the territory show. Rekka is kind of dangerous and needs more work before she kills someone. I mean, I've heard stories, right? I've heard stories that in WoW it was a little touch and go, it was a little dangerous, a little rough. We'll see, man. Dodie! Hello, Jay. My body's ready for some EC3 in All Japan. That is happening today. Like, it's your today because it's still our tomorrow. Oh, shit. I'm going to lose my mind here. Dodie is from Indonesia, so he's ahead of us in the time zone. And, of course, yes, I do believe that's happening today, Wednesday, the 29th, against I have the graphic. I don't know why I'm talking about it. I could just pull a graphic up and we could say, hey, check this out, dude. There it is. Oop, not the wrong one. There it is. Yeah, and that's going to be exciting. Again, the last time that the NWA World Heavyweight title appeared in Japan was, All Japan, was back in 1989. Now, of course, the title had been defended in Japan through New Japan and everything else. But I can't wait. I'm excited. And hopefully it's a sign of things to come. A partnership with All Japan Pro Wrestling, I think, would do so much good for the NWA. And I'm still, every once in a while, I look down on my phone and people are still saying I look like Kevin Owens. I have to be related to Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens theme song. Bro, I thought you were really Kevin Owens. Bro, you need to be related to Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens. It's like there's 10 people in that chat. Every one of them thinks I look like Kevin Owens. That's awesome. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Let's see. J Cal, you saying Billy equals Artie Moreno will never sell? Yeah, unfortunately, yeah. It's a horrible comparison. I was very excited when Artie Moreno bought the Angels, Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. I was super excited. And he made some changes I didn't agree with, but I thought, hey, Let's let it play out. Let's see where it goes. And ultimately, I've been disappointed by those changes. They brought people onto the roster, and I thought, these guys are legitimate superstars. Then they let people go who I wanted them to stay on the roster. There are so many parallels between Artie Moreno owning the Angels and Billy Corgan owning the NWA. It's actually makes me sad. Bobby Bettino says Ella Envy would be great as NWA Women's World Television Champion. I really thought that they would have, I don't want to give out spoilers. Of course, stay tuned to all the Crockett Cup results. But Ella Envy and Kenzie Page and Kylie Page, I felt worked so well together. And either Kylie or Ella being TV champion would have just gelled so well. I would have liked for them to dominate the women's division. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. Bro, you really look like Kevin Owens. It's a good thing. One of my favorite wrestlers. That makes you one of mine. Oh, thanks, David. Anybody who I'm letting my TikTok audience know too. If you guys follow me, I do go back and go through the live. I will follow anyone that follows me. So I do appreciate that. And then my wife's best friend just joined the chat. Hey, Tana, how are you? Tana Banana. I technically have to call her wifey because my wife calls her wifey, and it's kind of, I get a little jealous sometimes. Well, what do you think about J-Rod? I like her as well. She looks like a fitness model, but it's hard hitting. J-Rod is great. The problem with Jennifer Roden is that she, a lot like Reka Tahaka, is still very, very green. I think that she could be a phenomenal wrestler. I think she could really make it in the sport. Hell, if given the right opportunity, she could be like another Camille. Her and Reka Tahaka. The problem is neither one of them are really that good yet. They need a lot more time. And I just don't see it happening anytime soon. Tana, I'll see you, Tana, very soon. Michelle doesn't watch this, so she doesn't know what we're talking about. Not sure if you have the time, man, but I do have some of my matches on YouTube. If you ever want to check them out, doesn't have to be right now, but when you have time. Raiden, put the link up here, man. I'll throw it in the chat so people can see it. She has TV looks. Yeah, J-Ro. It's funny because growing up, my brother's best friend was named Jason Roden, and we called him J-Ro. So it's kind of funny, J-Cal, J-Ro, and now there's still J-Ro. Yeah, she looks great. J-Ro would be, I think, good in any kind of wrestling environment, but she needs the repetition. She needs to have more matches. She needs to get in that wrestler mindset. She was trained by Rikishi. So, and it's weird because, she's not that good. She could be good, but she's not there yet. Bobby Batista says, who would you like to see wrestlers against Joe Alonzo for the NWA Junior Heavyweight Championship in the future? Well, when we were in Texas, I thought it would have been a brilliant strategy, a great move to have used. Oh my gosh, how did I forget his name? That's he's been a guest on our show, and I cannot for the life of me think of his name. But he's a former NWA World Junior Heavyweight Champion, and now I'm going to look up his name because I feel stupid. His name would have been Barrett Brown. How did I not remember Barrett Brown? Barrett Brown would have been a smart business decision. One, because he lives in Texas. You don't have to pay someone to fly in. Two, he has history in that area as the former World Junior Heavyweight Championship. Now, they did play into that story when not Colby, but when Kerry Morton was World Junior Heavyweight Champion. That would have been a smart time to bring in Barrett Brown. You could have played off the history that the two shared with the junior heavyweight title. Now, Joe Alonzo and Barrett Brown don't have any kind of connection, any kind of history. But, our pal Barrett Brown never lost the title. Still calling me Kevin Owens. So that would be my first choice. Now, that didn't happen, obviously. That, it is what it is. But he would have been the first person I would have brought in. Chris Drummond says Laredo Kid. That Laredo Kid wouldn't be bad either. There's a whole host of guys. Ray Oras. I wouldn't mind seeing Mecha Wolf get a shot at the junior heavyweight title. You got to remember, Mecha Wolf is is a legitimate junior heavyweight. And although he was the muscles behind La Rebellion, he is not what I'd consider a heavyweight. Let's see. So, hey, if you guys want to check out some more wrestling, check out our new friend Raiden's YouTube page. I just put the link here in the chat, or I put it on the screen, but you can find it in the chat. Take a look. They're still saying Kevin Owens. This is great. Is Rock or Roman going to be at SummerSlam? I don't think Rock or Roman are going to be at SummerSlam. I think they're going to give that would need more time to build. Are Johnny Robbie and Jennifer Flores ever going to resurface? I think Jennifer Flores isn't she working with WoW? As far as Johnny Robbie, I think Johnny got hurt. I don't know 100%, but I think she got hurt. Jay Spade, yes, Dodie. Oh, I love you, Dodie. Jay Spade never got his title match. Jay Spade lives in, I believe he lives in New Orleans. It wouldn't have been a long commute to get him there. That would have been fun. Bobby Batito says Fuego del Sol. Apparently that was in the works, just didn't pan out, which is a shame because that would have been awesome too. Willie Bowen has a bunch of names. He says Laredo Kid, Barrett Brown, also world champion in the United Wrestling Network, Danny Limelight. But, what's interesting is I don't think Limelight is on the NWA's radar. I mean, they picked up Slice Boogie. They never worried about Papo Esco, and they never brought in Danny Limelight. And I know for a fact that, at some point, Danny Limelight would have been happy to get a shot in the NWA. I don't think that is still the case. I mean, look, money talks, right? Anyone who's working today in the sport of pro wrestling, if you want to pay them to be on your show, I think they'll be happy to be there. I don't think very many talents these days are like, nah, I'm not going to work there. Because, money it's called professional wrestling, not, pro bono wrestling. People need to get paid. And, I was happy with who they had to challenge Joe Alonzo. He's a face that we've seen in the NWA before. I don't want to give out spoilers, but I think you'll enjoy it. Yo, it's Kevin Owens. I probably shouldn't do these live streams with TikTok anymore while I'm doing the show. I get too distracted. Lindsay Dorado, who is a free agent, that wouldn't have been bad. Ray Fury, that would have also been good. Yeah, so far I haven't heard a bad choice when it comes to who could have challenged Joe Alonzo. And remember, they're having matches. I think Joe Alonzo is wrestling down in Texas again very soon, if not last weekend, maybe next weekend. He is going to be at the Return to the Territory show, so I'm sure he'll be defending the title there. And, of course, NWA Chicago, I think, will be a place he defends quite regularly. Let's see. I have to verify to continue my live. Okay. Well, there we go. Verify me. That's funny. Kevin Owens, is that you? Yeah, it's me. It's Jay Owens. Paladin says, I haven't watched TNA for the past few weeks. I haven't watched TNA in a while. I was really excited about the direction that TNA was going. In fact, I was going to make plans to be there in January for the pay-per-view. But then when Scott D'Amore got fired, I just kind of felt I didn't want to be a part of that. Look, they have a lot of great roster talents like Alexander Hammerstone, somebody I would pay to go watch wrestle, but why did they think he was Kevin Owens? It's awesome. You guys think I look like Kevin Owens? I don't know what to say. I'm still pretty green, but man, I can work. Rating, that's the thing. It's all about repetition, brother. Like the more reps you get, the better you will be. And, I don't know the landscape of pro wrestling in New Mexico, but obviously repetition is everything. Got to get those reps in when you can get them working in front of a live audience. Obviously will help you grow as an athlete as well. I mean, you can do everything you want while you're training, but you really have to be able to put it all together in a live event. Is that Kevin Owens? Yes, it is me, Jay Owens. What are your thoughts on Dean Ambrose? Should he come back to the WWE? Dean Ambrose is living the dream, man. He's IWGP World Champion. He wrestles for AEW. Why would he want to come back to the WWE? He'd be at like, what, 5th man on the roster below CM Punk? Oh, thanks. Who do you think should Kenzie Page defend the Burke at the anniversary show? I'd like to see Natalia Markova get another chance, perhaps in a last chance match. Noobs, I think that's the answer right there, man. I think that is the answer. You put Markova versus Kenzie and make that match like that's her last shot. And if she fails, she's done. Because I don't know what else you could do with her at that point. I feel like at this point, if Kenzie Page, in order to maintain her integrity, she needs to face everybody. If it's not Max the Impaler, then it should be Markova. And, Markova has had her opportunities in the past, but at this point in the game, like, if she can't win it, then get her out of the division. Have her go away. The thing that the NWA fails to do the best is allow talent to disappear for a while. Now, we talked earlier about Missa Kate. Maybe she's taking time off from the brand. Chris Adonis has stopped wrestling in the NWA. These are good things, because when the opportunity opens up for these talents to return, if they return, it's a big deal. They never did it with Nick Aldis, and it's a shame, because when Aldis lost the title, and they should have taken him off TV, allowed him to go do other things, and then come back, the reaction would have been enormous by the fan base. And then, think about the time. Murdoch and Matt Cardona gets hurt. Aldis shows up out of nowhere. People would have been happy to see him. Instead, they were like, oh, this fucking guy. As great a person to ask about your wrestling, he's worked in the business. Jay, oh, me? No, I'm not a great person to ask. Look, I've been watching wrestling my whole life, but I never trained, right? I've never been in a ring outside of handing out awards, right? So I'm not the perfect person to ask, but if you want my opinion, I don't sugarcoat shit. I try to stay positive about things, but I never will lie to somebody. My sister and I met Danhausen last weekend. He is an awesome person. I don't know Danhausen, but he is hilarious at what I see on YouTube and X and Ray Fury. Yeah. Oh, we already talked about that. Let's see. If you wear your hat, you won't get those Kevin Owens comments as much. Yeah, probably. Maybe that's what I should do. But you know what? If they keep calling me Kevin Owens in TikTok, that means that they're interacting on the channel. It helps the algorithm. So I'm totally cool with them saying, you look like Kevin Owens. You got to be Kevin Owens' brother. I'm good with that. Doesn't bother me at all. Besides, if Kevin Owens was an ugly dude, then maybe I might take offense. But he's not a bad-looking guy. I mean, there's worse out there. Say I look like Baron Corbin. Unnecessary hate for Baron Corbin. I want to see Maxie and Impaler wrestle Jessica Havoc or Freya the Slaya. Now, Freya the Slaya is a hell of a lot more possible than Jessica Havoc. I think she's under contract. But Freya the Slaya and Max would be pretty off the hook, because the one thing that Freya the Slaya has that not a lot of women do is a height advantage, and I wouldn't say weight advantage, but that would be like the female equivalent of a Haas fight. Well, at least with Freya the Slaya, it'd be, non-binary for Max. But, I mean, I think that would be an interesting matchup for the women's television title, I'm assuming. Damn, Jay, without the hat, you are KO 1.5. It's retro. Chris Drummond says, Enzo Amore versus Joe Alonzo in Philadelphia. I don't know if I dislike that. I saw Enzo Amore at an indie show just a few months ago. I think it was back in March. And, he relies on his shtick quite a bit. I saw him in a match that with Honest John. Honest John will be getting a shot at NWA World's Heavyweight Champion EC3, by the way. I'm going to make that show. We might even have the promoter on this show for that. But yeah, Enzo Amore, yeah, I mean, sure, he was a cruiserweight champion in the WWE. I got no problem with a guy getting work, and a guy like Joe Alonzo, I would love to hear those promos, because Alonzo does not does not temper his shtick for anybody. Joe Alonzo is a little shit, and he knows he is, and he smiles with his little boy face and his little, puby beard. He can't grow a real one, but he's like, hey, I'm Joe Alonzo. Shit. I would love to see it. Chris Drummond, book it. Get William Patrick Corgan on the phone and book it. Jay Steen. That's right. It's Jay Steen's in the house. Damn, Jay, without the hat. Yeah. Thanks. I know, right? When they fired Scott, really took the wind out of their sails. Yeah. And look, I don't know the whole story, and I'm sure there's more that's happened that I'm not privy to. If I am a wrestling company owner, I think I want D'Amore on my team. And if I'm Triple H, if I'm Tony Khan, I'm like, hey, D'Amore, what's your availability like? You mind working Mondays and Thursdays? What's the deal? How can we get you a part of this? If I am Coastal Championship Wrestling out in Florida, I'm like, hey, D'Amore, you want to be a part of something unique and special? If I'm the NWA, I say, hey, Scott D'Amore, what are you doing? You want to come be a part of this? Because obviously the guy has done it. He's built a wrestling promotion a couple of times. And he took TNA, a promotion that nobody gave two shits about, and made it very, very interesting. Did he reinvent the wheel? Nope. Just put on good wrestling and made people care. And if you can do that, you are a valuable asset to any wrestling company. Willie Bowen says, Allison K, Marty Bell are in TNA. Yeah, they are all over the place. Let's see. The Hex to be tag champions. I wouldn't mind the Hex being in the NWA again. I like their work. The King Bees right now, so far they're beating all comers. They're still the tag champions, so we'll see what happens next for them. Still don't care about it. Sorry. Hey, John Cena lover, that's cool, man. You don't have to like the NWA. You don't have to like TNA or AEW or anything else. You do you, bro. Enjoy pro wrestling. Wrestling is meant to be enjoyed. It is performance art. There is no wrong way of doing it. If you can get people to watch it, then you're doing it right. Rosemary versus Kenzie Page. Rosemary, I don't think you're going to see Rosemary leave TNA anytime soon. Kenzie Page versus Taylor Rising or La Rosa Negra for the NWA Women's World Championship. Taylor Rising is still very green. Her look is getting better. Her in-ring is getting better. There's still times I see her and I think she's missing something. She needs more work, more repetition. Like I said, for months, Natalya should grind in Ohio Valley or get signed to AEW or WWE. The problem is, Noob, is they have to be willing to sign her. And if they wanted her, they could have her. They could. Hey, Sage. Sage, everyone in this live stream has called me Kevin Owens at least like 5 times. It's still happening. So humble. Weinstein Wrestling Federation, bad move from Markova. Let's see. Enzo looks like a drug addict. Shit. I love Alonzo. Get him over. Alonzo, he doesn't need me to get over. Alonzo really is over. Joe Alonzo is the biggest asshole in wrestling. Joe Alonzo is the biggest asshole in wrestling. Do everyone care about him? I mean, he's an asshole, but he's doing it. He's getting booked. People are talking about him. Paladin says Black Taurus changed his name since he left AAA. They own Taurus. He's now another monster. Yeah, he's pretty good still, though. I like the artist formerly known as Black Taurus. Sam Retro says D'Amore just trademarked Maple Leaf Wrestling. That's cool, man. Oh, man. Scott turned TNA around. He's a great asset. Yeah, D'Amore is a good fit, Yeah, Sage, it's not like I don't take it as an insult. I've been putting work in the gym. I feel like I look good, feel good, be good. I don't know. But tonight's episode of Power, again, we didn't even talk about it, but it is coming up. If you guys didn't know, it's already available. You can watch it now. The advertisements for this week are Tom Latimer, your NWA national champion. He will be in action. Doesn't say who he is defending against. But I'm excited. Tom Latimer is a great talent. I hope he brings some credibility back to the national title. I know Silas Mason forfeited the title for a shot at the 10 pounds of gold, but him getting that opportunity to showcase the belt, they need to build someone up to face EC3 at some point, and Tom could be that guy again. Other matches will be Crockett Cup matches. We've got a first-round tag team tournament match, Silas Mason, Kerry Morton versus the Slime Balls. You got the Southern Six versus the Slime Balls. I don't know how I feel about this. First of all, the Slime Balls are okay. They're very much okay. Kerry Morton, one of my favorites to watch in the NWA. Obviously, Silas Mason is probably the best talent in the NWA today. This should be, at the very least, an interesting match. I don't know how it's going to play out. And next up, we've got Daisy, Kill, and Talos taking on the Stu Crew. Stu Crew are out from Joe Kazana Promotions. They are the JCP Tag Team Champions. They have a very fun look to when they're in Tennessee. They are over. The crowd loves them. But this will be one of the first times that they've appeared on an episode of Power. So this is kind of like a debut for them. But it should be a fun match. Daisy Kill, I think, is so underrated on the roster. Maybe he could be the guy that challenges Joe Alonzo for the TV title. Love the old school NWA TV title in the background. Yeah, I have the 10 pounds of gold here. You can't see it. I can move it. I've got the British Commonwealth Championship over here, but now you're seeing how messy my office is. And then, of course, most recent addition, the World Six-Man Tag title. And I also have the original big gold belt as well. Let's see. And then also the match that we've been talking about, the World Television Championship match. Max the Impaler with Father James Mitchell taking on Magic Jake Dumas, and which surely will be a barn burner. No doubt about it. Throw out the record books, Daddy. It's going to be one of those things. But we're getting ready to call it a day here at the Alliance Blog. Thank you so much for being a part of our live stream. We're here each and every Tuesdays and Thursdays, 2 o'clock Pacific, 5 Eastern on Tuesdays, and of course, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific on Thursdays. Make sure you join in for that. Dave Scooby says Slime Balls are the New Day Wish version of the Nasty Boys. Slime City. Let's see. Take me to Slime City. Let's see. Let's go. Thanks for the kind words, guys. Yeah, we're going to call it a show today. Thank you so much for being here. Again, we do appreciate it. The merch store is updated somewhat regularly. If you want a t-shirt, a hat, any of that cool stuff, make sure you drop in the video comments for the link to the merch store where you can get any of that cool stuff. But it's always fun taking this part of Tuesday to talk to you guys. But until then, we'll see you at the matches. Thanks for checking out the Pre-Party, a presentation of Alliance-Wrestling.com. You should hit that subscribe button and join our community. I also want to remind you that we recap NWA Power every Thursday at 8 p.m. in the live stream. We try to stay social, so find us at the Alliance Blog. And until next time, we are